Hello, I'm Alifia from Global Admissions. Today I'm excited to introduce Agung, an Oxford MPP graduate Master of Public Policy from the Blasphemy School of Government. On our Global Admission YouTube channel, Agung will share on how to get accepted into the University of Oxford and his experiences as an international student while pursuing his Master of Public Policy. And before we start, could you please introduce yourself, Agung?
Hi, Alifia. Hi, everyone. My name is Agung. I studied Master of Public Policy in Oxford University.
Okay. Can you tell us why did you choose to study for MPP at Award?
Thank you, Olivia. A couple of reasons, maybe three main reasons. So, first of all, I have an interest to go into the public sector. My prior experience before I studied in Oxford, I mostly work in the business and investment side. I've always had a desire to serve in the public sector. So that's why I chose the MPP program. But why in Oxford? Because Oxford MPP is one of the best MPP programs in the world, and it is only a year program. It is designed mainly for professionals, so it is a professional degree, and it's also in the UK, right? It's a really great country. You have lots of things like to explore there, and Oxford itself as a city, it has more than 100 libraries in the city. So yeah, it is the best place like for you to study.
Wow, that's really amazing experience. And I want to know, could you please share with our audience step by step for applying to the Oxford MPP program?
I think you can definitely take a look at the website for the complete step by step on how to do it. But a couple of like important documents that you need to have is, of course, you need to have your official transcripts. You need to have your CV. So I would recommend you taking a look at the Oxford format for the CV. You need to have a recommendation, three recommendation letters actually. It can be a mix of both academic and professional recommendation letters. I would definitely recommend you to have a mix of it and mainly professional recommendation letters because it's more of a professional degree. You need to take a TOEFL or IELTS as well. So I took TOEFL IBT. And you need to have you need to meet like the requirement there. Couple of essays that you need to write and the things that I remember. One, you need to have like a personal statement or a statement of purpose. So this personal statement or statement of purpose basically tells you about yourself, your past, and how did you arrive to your life choices and what is your aspiration in the future and where is Oxford in that particular journey. So that's a personal statement. And then you have two different essays. One essay is a public service essay to basically showcase what sort of like commitment, what sort of evidence that you can provide to show your commitment for public impact. So it's not necessarily that you have to have an experience in the government sector or public sector, but you can showcase that through your NGO volunteership or any other avenues where you can showcase your commitment to public service. And lastly, there's a policy essay. So policy essay is basically it's very similar to a policy brief. You talk about a specific problem and you talk about you create an analysis or like a commentary for a particular policy that you observe, right? You want to provide some sort of like critique and also alternatives or recommendations to improve that particular policy. For me, myself, I wrote about the public education policy. So and how we can basically improve the outcome of good quality teachers and also some access to the public schools in Indonesia.
Wow, that's pretty intense. Even like they have like substance tests, something like that, right?
Mm.
And what are the requirements? Can you share what kind of profile that Oxford MPP is looking for? Are there any specific eligibility criteria?
I don't think it's very strict, but of course, like I think if you are applying with a strong GPA, so a first class or a strong upper second class undergraduate degree with honors, or a GPA of 3.7 out of 4 is definitely recommended. Although I know some friends who don't have that sort of like GPA score, but they have very strong professional experience, particularly in the public sector. So that's one thing. The first thing is they want to know if you have any strong academic analytical capability, and definitely your GPA can be a proof of that. Number two, what you need to have is you need to show a commitment to public service. So, in addition to any academic and analytical capability, they want to show whether you are committed to executing anything that is in line with public impact, right? Again, this can be done in public sector, can be done through your probably CSR activities in your private sector company, can be done through your work in a startup where there's mission driven activities or mission driven products, can also be shown through your involvement in NGOs or nonprofits beyond just your academic analytical capability. And lastly, they look for students with evidence of leadership and impact. So if you have like leadership experience and you are professional with proven impact, can be in private sector, can be in public sector, can be in NGO, right? I think that's something that they prefer because basically this program is more of like a professional degree, and they want to have a batch of candidates that have the ability to lead and have an impact in their chosen field.
I see. It sounds like they're looking for future leaders. And
Mm.
like, how about like minimum working experience or IELTS or TOEFL, like the minimum score? Can
Yeah.
you elaborate more?
I'm not sure about the minimum working experience, but when I applied, I have about 5 years of experience. But I've known, I know some of my classmates who only have like 1 or 2 years of experience, although they came from very good undergraduates, right? So a lot of my classmates, they come from Ivy League universities, from Harvard, from Stanford. They also come from Cambridge and Oxford as well. So maybe 1 or 2 years, but very specific, and they have very specific experience.
And like, what is the selection process look like?
Yeah, it's just the selection process is just like applying through the online
Okay.
form,
Mm-hmm.
submitting all the transcripts, the English language proficiency test. You can also submit your GRE or GMAT, although it is not
Mm-hmm.
required. You submit all the
Okay.
essays on the online form. You fill in all the necessary like personal information.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically in Oxford, you also would like to research what sort of which college you would be assigned to. So it's a very specific trait to Oxford and Cambridge, right? So it's like kind of like the house in Hogwarts in Harry Potter. So they have like Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Hogwarts, and
Oh,
that's choosing college is basically like choosing your house, and then you submit the application and pay the application fees, and then afterwards, they will give you the announcement results like right away. I think
mhm.
within, if I'm not mistaken, it's about like 4 or 5 months after the deadline.
Okay, that's interesting, Agung. Like, can you share about your student life during your study?
I think I have like four different types of like student life back in Oxford. My life in university, my life in the
Mm-hmm.
college, my life in the department where I study, and my life as an Indonesian in Oxford, right? And I think like
Okay.
the student life in Oxford is very vibrant. Like as a student at the university level, there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of clubs that you can join. So I joined Oxford
Mm-hmm.
Union. It's basically a debate club. They also host a lot of talk shows and seminars, inviting a lot of like prominent public leaders and private sector leaders. Right, very interesting, very enriching, and it's basically a place like for you to meet people who are probably more interested like in politics or like in social issues. Right, so that's the life in the at the university level. What I joined was Oxford Union. On the college level, so I studied in Pembroke College. So in Pembroke
Mm-hmm.
College, it's more of like a small college, although it's also one of the oldest ones. So they have a lot of different social events. I think almost every week there's always like an event, right? There's always like some sort of like mixers, and basically they have what we call they have like different sort of like living room for master students to hang out and just like chat and play video games and whatever like with each other. So it's really fun doing it like in college, because this is basically a place for you to meet with people from other departments, from undergrads, from masters, and also from PhD programs, right? And I love it a lot because particularly in Pembroke, a lot of people they take very interesting programs like philosophy, like Islam, like Islamic studies, and economics, and but they're also I also have like good friends who studied STEM, right? Anything regarding like biology and something more sciencey, like in nature. And the conversations are always fun because you have people from different kind of backgrounds. And then third is the department life, which is my major, right, in MPP. So in MPP, I have a band, so it's called the Unlikely Coalition. So I founded this band with a couple of like other musician friends in MPP, and yeah, we play I think at least like 5 or 6 concerts, mainly like at school, and we perform at like different school events. It was really nice because created this band with friends from the USA, from Japan, from Brazil, from Singapore, and from Indonesia. So this is truly an international band experience like for me. But
Wow.
lastly, my life I also have a life as an Indonesian student. So they have the Indonesian Student Association there called PPI, right? And in PPI Oxford, basically they host picnics or like gatherings. They also
Mhm.
have different types of events where the Indonesian students and also Indonesian professionals who work there, we hang out a lot like together there. Definitely feels like home that in Oxford, because I
Mhm.
still have a lot of like Indonesian friends that I can hang out with, but also at the
Mhm.
same time, there's plenty of choices of things that you can actually do or join.
I see. So, what is your best experience that you had as an international student at Oxford?
This is such a hard question. Okay, one of the
Mm-hmm.
most memorable moments, I think,
Mm-hmm.
we had some sort of like talk show regarding the intersection of artificial intelligence and moral philosophy. And one of the speakers was actually Eric Schmidt, which was like the former CEO of Google. And he is I think, if not I'm not mistaken, he's the first or one of the earliest like CEOs of Google. I think what is memorable itself is I got to ask philosophical question speakers at that time. They loved like the question, and we ended up, I think, like for the next 30 minutes they ended up just talking about like my question, and like we have like this sort of like discussion like with
Mm-hmm.
everyone like in the room, right? Yeah, so I think like that's one of the most memorable moments for me, because I think back in Indonesia, or in many places, it's not often that I have this sort of conversation in the intersection of technology and morality, right? But there
Wow.
you can have like a very nerdy scholarly
Mm-hmm.
like conversation on it, and what you thought would be a ridiculous or a silly question ends up being entertained by this very prominent people, right? Because they also find it like intellectually interesting.
Wow, that's really expand your knowledge and your
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Okay, the last question. Can you give some tips and tricks for people around the world who want to study at the University of Oxford, and why people should study at Oxford?
Oxford is the best university in the world. It's also the oldest university in the world.
Mhm.
And amongst it also produces indirectly the other top universities. So Oxford sort of produces Cambridge, and Cambridge sort of produces Harvard, right? So if you trace it, it always comes back to Oxford. In all seriousness, it's a very nice place like for you to study, because the city itself is very serene, has a lot
Mhm.
of like meadows and green spaces. It has a more than 100 libraries, has of plenty of things like that you can do there. So if you are looking to study, that's like a really great place. You meet you will meet a lot of very accomplished yet humble students there, and they come from very different walks of life. You will meet like the family of royals, you'll meet like the sons and the daughters of billionaires, but you also meet with people who overcome poverty, who are extremely inspiring, right? Everyone there is inspiring in their own ways, which is like super amazing. I don't really have anything to say more like about Oxford, because the experience that I had there was really refreshing. It was really enlightening, and it was really incredibly humbling and inspiring. And the more I get to know about these people, the more inspired I become, right? And some tips for aspiring Oxford students. So for those of you who are looking to get into Oxford, right? Basically, prepare ahead, I would say. So if you want to get into the master's program in Oxford, I would always recommend you preparing at least like 2 or 3 years like before, so that you know exactly what you want to study and what sort of like profile and what sort of experience that you can prepare for it, right? I think like theoretically speaking, I think if you are thinking of going to Oxford, it probably means that you already have the right profile, or also like maybe the kind of intention that will lead you there. So just like work hard on it, prepare ahead, study your TOEFL, and don't forget to reach out to mentors, right? I think like having mentorship, having
Yeah.
people who can guide you in the process will
Mm-hmm.
be very helpful.
Okay. Agung, thank you so much for your time. It's really inspiring for the young
Thank
people in the world. Okay, guys, if you want to know more about how to apply to Dream University, please visit our platform, globaladmissions.com, and see you on our next video. Bye.
Bye bye.